Well, hey there. Welcome to Cryptids and Conspiracies. I think everybody's going to be off camera tonight for their own safety. Anyway, just kidding. All right. Well, let me bring on my partner in crime. You may know the Furball from the Wookie Fever show and Laughing Up Furball. This is my good buddy, Wookie Fever.
Sir, nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
It's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that.
There you go. And his relative, I swear there's no nepotism involved, just made it in the last second. You know him as Abby. We know him as Abby someone.
Abby someone. Abby someone. Abby who? Abby normal.
Welcome to the show, Abby.
Hello.
All right, and last but certainly not least, live from Scotland. Remember, if
it's no Scottish, it's crap!
Hello.
welcome, Mr. Crew Byram.
Oi.
Welcome.
Hang on a second. I'll just turn my camera on.
There you go.
Reasons.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't see shit.
Looks like the guy from S2 Underground. Holy shit.
All right.
See this
I'll
bloody
turn my
mask had
camera on.
this mask had a use for something.
The COVID. The
All right,
COVID
I'll
side.
There you go.
I just had to.
Anyway.
I just had to do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
look
there
at
you
the
go,
bunch
there you
of-
go, there you go.
Look at the sissies over there with their cameras hidden.
Well, we've got Mr. Edge of Time showing
Hey,
up. Hey,
hello.
hey, greetings. Tonight, we are simulcasting at YouTube, Rumble,
Greetings.
X,
Right?
and Instagram.
Nice.
Four platforms. Four platforms. Okay.
Hello, everybody out there.
Which should
Assuming
increase
this-
our visibility in case the Freemasonry, we'll get wind of what we're doing here. Anyway.
Won't it help them?
Will it be dead?
Yeah, why not? If we're
Hang on a minute.
we're
I'll
gonna
just
run
put
afoul.
mask back on there. There I go. You can't see me. Nothing to see here.
If we're going to run afoul of this organization that happens to be in every small town across America, then
We
we
have
might as
them
well
here.
go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I know
You thought it was
I know two of them. I know two people in it.
I know.
Oh, man,
It's
he's
everywhere.
connected. Watch out.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. All right. Anyway, so the question that we're going to tonight is we're going to ask the question is
Yes.
I think it's better summed up by Lex Luthor.
What?
You gonna wash your hands?
No, because I'm evil.
Because I'm evil.
Because I'm evil. Anyway.
That's
Anyway,
funny.
Freemasonry, is it evil? All right. Well, and if we come to that conclusion, then we're pretty much screwed. Because
Not if you're a Freemason.
well, not if you're a
Yeah.
Freemason. No. All right, here at the Cryptids and Conspiracies, we have a system. Well, we have our thesis statement, our question, primary question, which is Freemasonry evil? And so there's three things that we go to. First of all, can we debunk it?
Debunked? Oh, what?
Can
You
we
lost
confirm
the
it?
sound. Can we confirm it?
Or is the truth in the middle?
Having technical difficulties.
Huh?
It's a
Okay,
cyber attack.
so-
That's what it is. It's a cyber attack against us. There you go.
Until we meet again.
Anyway, okay. Also in the discussion, another thing is expressly forbidden.
You evil bastard, you.
No. All right, here it is. Okay,
No.
this is thing is forbidden from the conversation.
No.
That's what you're telling me!
No. Free speech is
Okay.
dead.
Look.
He's
All right.
censoring what they can say.
Okay. Anyway, so I have a short video that's going to kind of introduce us to Freemasonry as a concept. It's by no way.
You have a bigoted video. You called it short. What the hell?
Yes.
I can already see this is going off the rails.
All right.
This is already going off the rails. I can already see it. Anyway, all right. So this is by no means comprehensive, but it kind of gets us into the topic pretty readily. Plus, YouTube won't gack it according to when I checked it out.
Ah, yes.
Imagine
I
that.
just did that, Wookie.
I was pressing the button.
All right. So what do Freemasons actually believe? Here we go.
You don't hear much about them now, but for centuries, fraternal societies were as much a part of the fabric of daily life for many adults as driving kids to soccer practice and scheduling playdates are today. TV and later the COVID-19 pandemic greatly impacted the importance of societies such as the Oddfellows, the Elks, and the Lions Club. Yet for the longest time, one's fraternal society was a source of friendship, social capital, and the basis for one's charitable work. And probably the most famous, or infamous, of those orders is the mysterious group known as the Freemasons. But what do Freemasons actually believe? On the surface, the Freemasons appear to be a group of usually old men who meet at the lodge to play cards and enjoy a tall, cold one. But for centuries, both church officials and the general public were concerned about the Masons. That's because the organization has always been shrouded in secrecy, with rumors of pagan rituals, quasi-polytheistic beliefs, and to hear some tell it, a tendency to secretly pull the strings of government, finance, and world domination. Even Sherlock Holmes thought so.
The handshake and the ring, Watson, are archaic rituals preserved by the 33rd degree members of the secret order of Freemasons.
That, or they really are just a bunch of men enjoying each other's company and doing good charitable work and riding in parades, which is the version of the story they tell. So what's the truth? According to the Straight Dope, the group that eventually came to be known as the Freemasons likely began as a trade guild. At the time, the secrecy that governed the society's existence was likely at least partially due to the need to keep outsiders from learning valuable trade skills, masonry specifically. But there was also a religious aspect as well. The Freemasons allowed anyone to join as long as they believed in God, regardless of their specific religious beliefs, and that was way too inclusive for the Catholic Church. This was centuries ago, of course. Around the 17th century, the focus of the group broadened from actual stonemasonry into a society of wealthy, educated gentlemen discussing the latest trends in philosophy, like a book club for morality. It was also the time when the society became entwined with deistic beliefs, an idea that the grand architect of the universe was just that, a godlike being that created the world but has no further influence in its existence. The inclusivity and secularism of the Freemasons put them at odds with all sorts of conservative establishments, especially the Catholic Church, and for a while, Freemasonry was outright banned. As a result, the Masons were traditionally anti-monarchy and pro-republic and constitutional government, which explains why founding fathers such as George Washington and Benjamin Franklin were a part of the shadowy club. These days, Masons are still required to profess belief in a higher power, either the grand architect of the universe or for the individual Mason, the god of their own religion, in order to join the group or stay in it. However, the Straight Dope also notes that when a Mason achieves the highest rank, the tea is spilled about what the group secretly purports to believe. That god is actually a being they call Yabalin, who is an amalgam of the Hebrew god, a Canaanite god, and an Egyptian one. Of course, few, if any, Masons actually believe all or any of that, but all the secrecy and initiation rituals of Freemasonry help promote the brotherhood of man. That sounds good on paper, but the downside is made clear by the overwhelmingly male membership of the Masons. Women were only allowed recently through offshoot chapters. That's not the only way in which the Masons have struggled to adapt to the modern world. Many conventional lodges refuse to accept anyone who is not a white male, a struggle that continues to this day. So women and minorities run their own Masonic lodges, completely separated from the traditional bands of old white men. It's a strange, archaic, and unwritten rule that sours the Freemasons' modern reputation. Hopefully, the organization will come around and return to its inclusive roots. Yabble willing. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about history are coming soon.
Interesting. The
Did that bring up any questions?
well, I mean, I like I said, I have seen some documentaries on it before, so you know, what the fall of the cabal that was on BitChute insinuated that the eyeball that you see is not actually an eye necessarily. It's the eye elsewhere on a man's person. And
okay.
One-eyed Willie.
They all see it. That's the all-seeing eye. I'm going to have to doubt. I'm going to have to X for doubt on that one.
Which alludes to the sort of rumor of devil worship and like the orgies and things like that.
The pagan ritual, yeah.
Pagan rituals, exactly. And if you notice in that video, there was like the checkered floors, that kind of thing. They apparently crop up a lot in state buildings, that kind of thing. The UN, World Economic Forum, those kind of lovely entities that we all love. I'm taking the Mickey, of course, but it's one of those things. I don't know. Did you watch that video I sent you that was 5 hours long? Did you watch any of that at all?
No, I watched the 4-hour one that Abby sent me, but I didn't watch the 5-hour one. My apologies.
The fall of the cabal and that other one mentions a lot of the symbolism. There's a lot of symbolism in architecture. There's a lot of symbolism, even within the Catholic Church, and to some degree as well. Again, with the floors and the pillars and just the icons and stuff like that. I've got a pen. I don't know why, but it was just one of those things. But the guy that was in that 5-hour video made reference to the 33rd rank or whatever it is. I think he was. I think he was one, and obviously he's not now. But he did say that that's when they take you in to the upper echelons of what it's all about, and it's the oldest religion known to mankind, the pagan, Luciferian, that kind of thing.
Right.
I think it referenced the movie Eyes Wide Shut, that kind of thing. I've never seen it, but I know what it's about. That kind of malarkey and certain groves and certain rituals.
Oh, okay. So we watched the same video then, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, maybe, but certain groves, certain rituals, certain drugs that are from the human brain, that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Hey, Wookie, what's the comments over there? I'll let you run the comments. I'm a little busy.
Well, we've got the Edge of Time. So he tried Netflix and haven't seen it since 2021. R.I.P. Netflix.
Okay.
Inclusive roots, and we have Jack Rabbit, drawing Jack Rabbit. Jack,
hello.
How you doing?
Welcome.
How you doing? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, Jack. Good to see you in the chat. Jack says, you guys have no idea how stressed this stuff made me when I was 16. Stole my childhood. Never used the internet to find religion. Made that mistake.
Gotcha.
Let me tell you what, man, there's a lot of crazy stuff out there on the internet, brother.
Oh yeah. Right.
I gotta have you on again. We can see some of your drawings and
know,
stuff.
It's been ages.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Well, going back to Cruel's thing about the architecture and stuff around these Freemasonry, you see a lot of these obelisks in areas and stuff, and you look at the markings on them, and you don't see those markings on any other type of structures in that area, in that region.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Washington's Monument is a huge obelisk. You know,
it is. It is.
And there's no markings on it that I know of.
You know what? It was also alleged that the obelisk represents something.
Yeah.
It's clearly a phallic symbol. That's
you know what I mean. I'm trying to keep it clean.
Well, evidently, Washington. They wanted that to represent Washington, so he must have been. There you go. Anyway,
at the time,
I guess it would take quite a member to use the internet to lose a religion, maybe.
Yes,
right?
the obelisk does represent a member. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. I see pyramids with eyes everywhere. It's probably suck. That is actually Egyptian. There is some Egyptian. There's some like Egyptian.
There's some Egyptian stuff. And,
I think the fall of the Cabal, if I remember, it's a few years since I watched any of this, but I think the fall of the Cabal insinuated that the Freemasons, they were just a group of builders. You know, just that's all they were. And then I think they were incorporated into possibly the Knights Templar. I forget if it's the Knights Templar.
Well, you know the reason why it's not actually 33 degree; it's actually 33 1/3.
Oh,
yeah,
that's the Naked Gun.
Well, the third, if you include the third, it makes it a third of 100. You know, which is so. Anyway, so basically, I do have a video on the Freemasonry and how it involved itself in the building of Washington D.C. So here we go.
All right.
You don't hear much about them now, but for centuries, fraternal societies were as much a part of the fabric of daily life for many adults as driving kids to soccer practice and scheduling playdates are today. TV and later the COVID-19 pandemic greatly impacted the importance of societies such as the Oddfellows.
Saw this episode.
We're on the repeat.
That's the wrong one. Sorry, this is the right one. Here you go.
The cornerstone of the White House was laid in 1792, and ever since then, that cornerstone has never been seen again, despite numerous attempts to locate it. Some believe it's either still in its original location or was damaged during renovations, but others believe the Freemasons stole it. That theory that the Freemasons stole the cornerstone is strongly connected to the widespread belief that the master design for Washington, D.C. was based on Masonic symbolism.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm McKinley.
Oh, good. I'm McComan. If you take a look at this is a layout of Washington, D.C. Here, you can really see how the streets run. They run on angles, into circles, into squares. This city has been deliberately laid out on Masonic symbolism before the first spade of dirt was turned. As is the square is a symbol of perfection in Masonry. Washington, D.C. was originally a perfect square to really make things as powerful as you possibly can.
Now, would that perfect square be like a cornerstone?
The cornerstone of the most powerful country in the world.
Back to the cornerstones.
Back to the cornerstone.
So, Diane, is there any Masonic messaging or symbols in Washington, D.C. the way it's laid out?
No.
None?
No. No.
I have a hard time believing they would go ahead and lay out a city on a blank slate and not include something.
I'm really sorry, but no, this is a city that is laid out on a topographical grid according to topography, according to the heights and the depths, the valleys, the mountains, the grids. It was very easy to get around in. Wide boulevards when you needed them, narrow streets when you didn't need it, where it was residential, and everything revolved around the government, because the government was the center of everything.
So all this stuff, all these circles, these symbols, these right angles, is all bunk.
I would say yes. I don't think it's Masonic. I don't think it's a conspiracy. I don't think it's satanic. I don't think it's anything other than an attempt to create a city which was symbolically, yes, the center of the new democracy, the center of justice.
So, Diane, what do you think happened to the cornerstone of the White House? Do you think it's missing? Do you think the Masons had something to do with it? I mean, what are your thoughts?
I think it's probably either under a lot of rubble or it was damaged during one of the renovations. But was it a Masons conspiracy? No, I don't think so.
See you later.
Good night, Jack. Good
Have a
night,
good
Jack.
one.
Have a good one. Thanks for stopping
Night,
by.
guys. Well, people like that, they kind of get my hackles up, okay? Because, I mean,
yeah,
if you
she
make
was a true believer in the negative.
I mean, if you make definitive statements like that, okay? Washington, D.C. was the first pre-planned city in American history.
Yeah.
Every other city was basically, it was like come from something smaller, and then as it went, they built onto it, right?
Right.
And they planned it as they went. But Washington, D.C. was planned from the get-go. It was the first city that was basically completely laid out before it was built.
Well, wasn't Washington, D.C. not really supposed to be a city, but just the central seat of federal government? It was not intended to be a state or a county or a city. It was intended to just be a central federal government hub, and that's it. It wasn't supposed to be. That's why it's the District
It was supposed to be. It was built to be a like a home team, basically a home field advantage.
Right.
That's what it was built to be.
Yeah.
It was supposed to bring people in and just humble them with the opulence or with the creativity,
all the architecture and everything.
Yeah. It was basically built to be like ancient Rome, but it was in America. That's why so much marble was included.
Well, there was a documentary a few years back I watched that basically showed that the United States Capitol building was supposed to be a hell of a lot bigger than it is now.
Yeah.
It was actually supposed to have a tomb for George Washington.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was nixed, I think, by the Washington's family.
Probably. Yeah.
Because they didn't want him to be a spectacle. And so
right. Yeah. Yep.
Are there any new comments over there? Or we keep an eye on this?
No, just the one with Jack Main saying good night.
Okay.
Night, Jack.
Well, but the thing about it is, though, is the reason why people they're kind of like antenna are up when it comes to Freemasonry is because of the secrecy. Okay, if it is just a old guy's civic club, then what's with the coding? What's with the basic suppression of information that you have to like reach a certain level before you get the full picture?
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
that basically speaks to that there's something more going on than just a boys club.
In the documentary I saw, the 5-hour one, the guy did say that there's a lot of Christian symbolism for the regular Joes that are in there, and even the level 32s have absolutely no idea what goes on past that point. And
in the lower ranks, Christianity is kind of like pushed because they have the architect of the universe, and that concept is really pushed. And but I mean, I got deacons in my church. Fabian socialists are the issue more than the Freemasons. Okay.
The implication.
Don't get us distracted. Don't get us distracted. We'll tackle them eventually.
The implication was that the upper echelons are looking for people to see past the Christianity or what have you, and into a broader spectrum, and thus they become kind of worthy to get up into the next level, and all that kind of stuff. So that was more or less what you were saying.
Yeah, but if it's just a mere social club, then why is it so pervasive? Why is it everywhere? Why is it on every freaking government building? And if it's just this like casual little entity that people like join, willy nilly, the question is why is so much of the symbology like?
I think. I think in the beginnings, in the early days, leading up to the July 4th, the American Revolution, I think the Masonry, Freemasons, and here in the United States were more on the benevolent side. They wanted to have a different form of government that was more representative. I mean, hey, George, every single freaking body that was part of the revolution, almost everybody, vast majority were Masons.
Your mic's cutting out.
Level.
I was about to say you're sounding a bit garbled there, Wookie.
Okay, sorry. I was going to say,
put the mic in front of the face.
Mic is in front. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Man.
The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the
mountain to see what he could see. No, I think that in the early years of the United States formation, they were the architects of a new nation. I mean, going on the virtues, if you will, laid out in the in some of these Masonic beliefs, symbols, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I feel that in that time it was more benevolent than say now.
Well,
in just my opinion, looking at it, reading history, knowing what I know of U.S. history and things that were going on in that time period, I think it was more meant to be a benevolent thing. That's why so many, like George Washington and Ben Franklin and all these people were part of Masonry in some level.
Well,
So the Masonry didn't originate from here.
No, in England. Yes, yeah. England or Europe, yeah.
So they were Masons before when they came over here and established the Mason beliefs here.
Some of them, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, they trace their origins all the way back to the making of Solomon's temple.
Right.
I mean, their lore says that they go back that far. But the first
that could just be the regular just Masons before it was all organized.
The stoneworkers and what happened.
Yeah.
Well, the first organized Freemasonry showed up in England, or the Great Britain at the time.
When it was still great. Yeah.
Well, yeah, still there when it was still great. But basically, though. Essentially, the reason they're called Freemasons is because they were basically like individual contractors,
right?
They weren't under governmental control, and so Freemasonry was always like a bunch of independent people, kind of ganging up together to have more power than they would have individually. Kind of like an independent space right now, and so I agree. But the thing about it is even if you start out with something good like that, at what point does it always become corrupted? I mean, anytime. Yeah,
it's a very good point.
Okay, well, let me see these comments since let me see what's going on with these comments.
Started with this guy. Okay, with that one.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to red herring. And then he says, look over here. And then he's got, I think the Declaration of Independence was usurped by the English Bar Association with the introduction of the beloved Constitution.
Okay. All right. So he's obviously got his own strain of conspiracy theory. So understood.
Well, there you go.
Okay. So where things get sinister. Okay. Things get sinister.
Can I share a story first?
Go ahead.
I have a friend, and I was at school with a lot of his sons, but he used to work in a factory. It was a big factory in town, and he told me the story of when he was younger and he worked in it. And he's a Christian, and there were a lot of Freemasons that worked in the factory, and a lot of them actually literally threatened him. Threatened him with his life, essentially. So when you mention the sinister things, it's like, well, okay. If there's nothing going on, why would you threaten someone?
Right.
That's it.
I do have a video. I do have a video to play.
More videos.
This is the Baphomet Freemason information. So,
right.
This name comes up a lot, Baphomet, and so especially when you're talking about Freemasonry in the upper levels of Freemasonry. So, okay, so what is actually that connection? Here you go.
This is Greg Stewart with FreemasonInformation.com. Symbols and Symbolism. Baphomet, the imaginary idol, or rather symbol, which the Knight Templars were accused of employing in their mystic rites. The 42nd of the charges preferred against them by Pope Clement is in these words: Item quod ipsi per singulis provincias habitant idolia videlet capita quorum aliqua habitant tre facias et alia unum et aliqua cranium humanum habitant. Also, that in all the provinces they have idols, namely, heads of which some had 3 faces, some one, and some had a human skull. Von Hammer, a bitter enemy of the Templars, in his book entitled The Mystery of Baphomet Revealed, revived this old accusation and attached to the Baphomet an impious signification. He derived the name from the Greek words baptism and wisdom, and thence supposed that it represented the admission of the initiate into the secret mysteries of the order. From this gratuitous assumption he deduces his theory, set forth even in the very title of his work, that the Templars were convicted by their own monuments of being guilty as Gnostics and Ophites, of apostasy, idolatry, and impurity. Of this statement he offers no other historical testimony than the articles of accusation, themselves devoid of proof, but through which the Templars were made the victims of the jealousy of the Pope and the avarice of the King of France. Others again have thought that they could find in Baphomet a corruption of Mohammed, and hence they have asserted that the Templars had been perverted from their religious faith by the Saracens, with whom they had so much intercourse, sometimes as foes, and sometimes as friends. Nicolai, who wrote an essay on the accusations brought against the Templars, published at Berlin in 1782, supposes, but doubtingly, that the figure of the Baphomet, which was depicted on a bust representing the Creator, was nothing else but the Pythagorean pentagon, the symbol of health and prosperity, borrowed by the Templars from the Gnostics, who in turn had obtained it from the school of Pythagoras. King, in his learned work on the Gnostics, thinks that the Baphomet may have been a symbol of the Manichaeans, with whose widespread heresy in the Middle Ages he does not doubt that a large portion of the inquiring spirits of the temple had been intoxicated. Amid these conflicting views, all merely speculative, it will not be uncharitable or unreasonable to suggest that the Baphomet, or skull of the ancient Templars, was, like the relic of their modern Masonic representatives, simply an impressive symbol teaching the lesson of morality, and that the latter has really been derived from the former.
So any thoughts?
There you go. Very satanic looking, isn't it?
Well, the two-headed eagle is the symbol that's on the flag of Luxembourg. It also is on the flag of the European Union.
Yeah.
So, and it's a Masonic, and the Pentagon. Where have we seen a Pentagon? Anybody?
Yeah.
Where we see a Pentagon?
There's a Pentagon in Washington.
There's a Pentagon in Washington. Oh, okay.
Actually, there's
My
five.
blood.
There's 5 of them encompassed in each other.
Yeah. There you go.
Five rings.
But But according to lesbian chick, that's just complete. There's no mind at work when it comes to the creation. It was just a topographical map. There you go.
The Left Patsy has a comment, and they state Baphomet was historically the first trans.
Yeah, yeah, it has breasts. Baphomet has breasts. Yep. Boobs. Anyway. By the way, guess what statue is on the courthouse of New York City right now? Anyone?
No, it's not that Baphomet guy by any chance, is it?
It's the Baphomet guy. Yeah.
Yeah. They got him in there.
They don't have the goat head on it, but it's got all the other symbology. That's
the thing, isn't it? The goat head is symbolic of Satan, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yes.
Okay.
So one can't exactly imagine that that's good.
No.
So
probably not. Okay.
No.
And I going back here a second regarding that video, I seriously doubt that the Templars had anything to do with Baphomet. I believe they were basically, the Pope was jealous of their popularity and their power because they basically did the Crusades. They probably were in possession of Christian or Judaic relics that could have or maybe showed contradiction to the then grip of the Catholic Church on all their doctrine and scripture. It's very possible.
Well, the Catholic Church was a jealous bitch.
Yes.
So,
they were in control. Oh, yeah. Even now.
Yeah, they did. They pretty much destroyed any organization that anyway threatened their power.
Absolutely.
So okay, let's get into this. All right. So let's start with the debunked. Okay, so anybody want to? The old Avatar had one-eyed symbology on purpose, right? There you go. Hi. Yeah, shows up a lot. Dolphy and I. Okay, so debunked. Okay, so the debunk would be that this is just an old man social club that has has a lot of long history. But it's just basically where guys go to drink beer, get away from their wives, and play cards, and maybe organize some.
That's Hooters.
Maybe organize some charity for the community. But beyond that, they're pretty much just a toothless relic of a forgotten age. So that's pretty much. Would you agree that that's the debunked?
That would be the debunked if we believe that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It ain't just a social club.
No.
Well, all right. So there's nobody that believes it's debunked.
No.
Okay. Already contacted by the Illuminati. They're real fucking weird, right? I did look at Illuminati. Illuminati is an organization that did have some a Masonic organization that did have some power in Bulgaria. For a very short amount of time, but it's supposedly officially dissolved now. But it's used as a boogeyman.
Allegedly.
Okay. So nobody's going with nobody's on debunked. Okay. All right.
Heck no.
Okay. So the next one is.
Yeah, confirmed.
So is Freemasonry evil? Okay. Are they? The confirmed would be that Freemasonry is behind all the evils of the world. They're the New World Order. They're in control of everything and everyone in one way, shape, or form. And they're basically Satan's arm in this world. And at their head is Satan through the guise of Baphomet. And every organization, basically, past a certain degree, they're basically Satan worshippers.
The sunlight is supposed to represent, I think, the Prince of Light, the God of Light, or something like that, which is a reference to Satan also, or Lucifer.
Yeah, he's the they call him the father of light. No.
Yeah, that's the
like
one.
that.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. So
yeah.
Sorry.
The angel of light. I'm sorry, the angel of light.
The angel of light. I tend to go into the confirmed camp because of these biblical references and that kind of thing. And again, why would you hide?
Right.
If you've got nothing to hide. There's a lot of the, like I said, a lot of the symbology everywhere.
Right.
Okay.
So the confirmed position would be is yes, they are evil. They are in charge of everything, and they are actually more powerful than we give them credit. And they're actually behind. Go ahead.
Can I just add that I don't believe that every person that is a member knows everything and is thus thereby evil.
Right. Well, we'll say above a certain level.
Compartmentalized.
Exactly. Yes.
Compartmentalized so that there's plausible deniability of any information or nefarious.
Okay. So I take it that the three of you are on confirmed.
I don't really necessarily believe. I don't necessarily think that they're completely evil.
Okay, all right. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, is anybody on?
They aren't evil, but they aren't necessarily good either. I think they're kind of both. I think
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. What we're on right now is confirmed. Is anybody here confirmed? Okay, all right. So, Cruel is on confirmed.
Oh no, it's the hit team.
All right. So we got one on confirmed, nobody on debunked, and now.
There's my one-eyed avatar.
Jason!
Sid Haig! Jason!
All right. Okay, so the middle would be that they're not toothless. They're not just this little old man organization. That they actually do have teeth. They actually do have some influence. That maybe they don't control everything, but they are above a certain level. They are a malevolent force, and they do have influence in this world. And that the middle would be that they're not entirely all 100% evil, and they're not toothless. So the middle would be that they do have sinister intent. They do above a certain level, and that they are in control of a lot more than they let on.
Let me tell you a little story, a personal experience I had with a bona fide Freemason. I do not know what his rank was.
Okay.
He had a ring, and he would openly talk to people. Anybody who would ask about his ring, he would openly talk to them. He worked at a Home Depot when I used to be a rep in the electrical industry, and so I would see him quite often because he worked a store that I would go in and service, and so. I was overhearing a conversation one time in the break room with him, and I just sat there and was listening. And basically, there was at the time we were talking about oil prices and energy and all this stuff like that. And the one thing that stuck out in my mind is when they were talking about energy or new forms of energy or anything like that. He would always interject to whoever was talking or explaining about new energy or how it would be not free energy and stuff like that, right? He would say, well, you need somebody to control it. Not sinister like that, but that's what rings in my ears. It's like to control it. You need somebody to control it. Someone has to control it. Who do you want to control it? Well, why the fuck does it need to be controlled? That's my mind, but
well, when Nikola Tesla was trying to give it to the world through the air, basically, if you had an antenna that would receive this projected energy right into your house, and it would just be free for everybody. There would be no way to monetize it.
Right, exactly. But
it was what he was trying to do through Wardenclyffe. And
yeah,
so.
exactly. But that stuck in my head is that, you know, when he was saying, when he responded with, somebody has to control it. Who's going to control it? You have to have somebody to control it, you know? And I think he was referencing to the Freemasons, you know,
obviously. Yeah, I would have
because
thought
everybody knew he was a freaking Mason. He had the big ass ring. He had a freaking tie tack or whatever the lapel.
Yeah, they don't really hide it, do they? They don't.
No.
They always find a way to get the ring to show the light. You know, it's like,
But you know, like I said, I don't necessarily think in the beginning, the beginning of the founding of the United States, that they were necessarily evil. I think they were very benevolent. But I think over time, and you know, the greed of man is a pretty bad drug. And like Cruel said, it's not necessarily that the individual members would be all that evil or sinister people. They might not even know what the hell's going on.
No, probably not.
Because if they're so compartmentalized, and the head muckety mucks, I mean, shit, Harry Truman was a 33-degree Mason.
Yeah,
he's the one that did the he spearheaded the freaking renovation of the White House.
Yeah,
you know. And he was searching for the cornerstone. And he was searching for the cornerstone for the White House. And he couldn't find it, apparently.
Well, there are some comments over here.
The time prophet has arrived.
Yep.
All hail prophet here.
Yeah.
Eustace Mullins, because, we already seen that one.
Okay. Hail all.
Hey, Hilltop Prophet.
Follow this format always? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the format of the show. This is definitely the format of the show. Yeah.
I wonder if Wookie was Father Christmas in Home Depot store. No.
No,
I wasn't big enough.
Nah.
Apparently
the walls of the pyramids give out the frequency of 444 hertz. Yeah, I've heard of that. Everyone never heard of Freemason? They all change. They've all charged. Okay. You mean they charge? They're not free anymore. Okay. The Masons started as ordinary stonemasons as secrets of architecture. Yep.
Well,
we talked about that. That's what happens when you show up late. We have to recover land anyway.
Papa Khan says,
all right, so
right. He's right.
He is. We've already talked about that. We've already talked.
I completely forgot to mention that you often see pictures of like world leaders with their hands halfway in their pockets and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And there's the secret handshakes and things.
And then there's the eye thing.
Yeah, there's all that. You see, there's a lot of actors and actresses were shown to be doing all this and all that. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, we're a bit late to the party with that one. I completely forgot.
No problem. Okay, so I'm taking that I'm in the middle. Wookie seems to be in the middle, and Abby, you seem to be in the middle, correct?
Maybe.
Abby? Maybe. So you're waffling between confirmed and in the middle.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm in that big that gray.
You don't know
at this time.
Well, you gotta confirm. You gotta commit one way or another.
No.
All right, we're sticking you in the middle. I'm making an executive decision. You're in the middle because you're clearly not convinced one way or another.
Abby. Is there a parkour in there?
No. Because if there was, you'd hear about it anyway.
It's been at least half.
What you're telling me?
It's been at half an hour since that's been referenced, I guess. So.
Yeah.
See,
anyway, so we're putting you in the middle. Okay.
Playing the time prophet. I have 33 hats. So could it be I'm the 33rd level already?
There you go.
The 33rd level of Jim Beam. I know that.
So, okay, for to review chat, we've only got one. We have nobody on debunked, which is right here. Got one confirmed.
must have left my tinfoil hat somewhere.
And we've got 3 in the middle. Okay, chat. You are the tiebreaker. If you think it's debunked, if you think it's bunk, if you think it's just a nice little harmless, toothless organization where old guys go to get away from their wives and hang out and play cards and occasionally do good stuff for the community, but it's basically nothing but an old guys club. Go ahead and
do that, yeah, but you know.
No. Well, go ahead, type debunked in the chat. But if you think it is an evil organization that's in charge of everything and ultimately powerful and has control of the world and it's pretty much the new world order, go ahead and type in confirm. But if you think it's somewhere in the middle, if it's neither a toothless organization nor the ultimate power in the world, but it's somewhere in the middle, that maybe in the lower areas it's a toothless organization, but above a certain level they are up to some shit. So go ahead and type the middle if you think that. So, all right, let's get the votes in. You got the chat.
Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff says confirmed.
All right, got another one confirmed.
Yeah.
The time prophet. They are the Freemasons. That's the whole point.
The WEF is more dangerous than the Freemasons, according.
They're the same. They're the same thing.
Well, according to confirmed, they are the Freemasons. Okay.
Yeah.
They all called my name. All right. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, Mrs. Good Stuff says confirmed.
Okay, Mrs. Good Stuff's confirmed. Okay. All right, so that's 3-3. So we got 3 at 3. We got 3 for confirmed. Swirled and the Good Stuffs, and we've got 3 in the middle. All right, anybody want to be a tiebreaker over there?
Anyone?
There's nobody else watching.
The WEF Patsy.
Anyone? Vu economics.
WEF Patsy, are you going to be the tiebreaker? Papa Cotton? Time Prophet?
Come on, do it.
Anyone? No.
Dude, what if the rabbit is a Freemason? He might be trying to put us all.
Confirmed number 2. We win. Well, that puts you 3 on 3. We need one opinion. So we got 3 in the middle, 3 confirmed expressed so far. Does anybody want to break the tie between the middle and confirmed? So
who controls the WEF members? Yes, exactly. No Schwab.
No, that is what I'm
saying. All right.
You eat the bugs and like it.
The bugs and like it.
No, eat the bugs.
Okay.
Come on, do it.
Let's go find a nice parkour.
Time Prophet says that Klaus Schwab couldn't use a chisel. So. There you go. All right.
Klaus Schwab could use a good parkour.
Tony Blair is a Mason, you can tell. Probably.
Tony Blair looks like a freaking crypt keeper right now.
Okay.
Tony Blair, too, the kind of parkour party.
He looks like a freaking crypt keeper from the Tales from the Crypt. Holy crap.
Right.
Who, Tony Blair?
Yeah.
Gary, yeah.
I hadn't seen him recently.
Oh, there was some pictures. Just like he had the long hair and everything. It's all gray and shit.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He looks scary. Like, really.
All right. I hadn't seen him recently. I'll take your word for it. Okay, so every single astronaut, NASA astronaut's been a Freemason. Okay, didn't know that.
Well, there you go.
Parkour.
Everywhere.
Do I have to point to the sign? I'm gonna have to point to the sign, aren't I?
Is that what you're telling me?
Parkour.
All right, no parkour. No parkour.
At some point, we're gonna have a live stream with just that playing over and over again throughout the whole thing, aren't we?
Tony Blair's
I guess
controlling the
so.
Labour Party,
Right.
and now the WEF is back in power. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
First men on Mars will be
First men on Mars will be parkours. All right. Okay. Well, before this devolves further, I'm just going to I'm going to say Ty goes to the middle. Ty always goes to the middle. So there you go.
What happens if someone else
Take that
comes
comment
into the
down,
chat?
please.
What?
All right.
You told me to.
Is apron? Yeah, they have those aprons, don't they?
Yeah. This is good stuff. There you go. I wonder what Wookie keeps his apron. I have no idea.
In my shed.
That's because parkour is a sport. Parkour is a sport.
Apparently it's the oldest sport, too.
P-A-R-K-O-U-R. Parkour is a sport. Anyway.
It's parkour, not parkour.
Yes, it's parkour, not parkour.
Like you said, parkour.
All right. Okay. All right. So,
holy shit.
Yeah.
Parkour is definitely a sport. I mean, you can't keep up with him. Sorry, Bunny, couldn't help myself.
That's fine, Mrs. Good Stuff.
Who knew that, Bane?
Before we go out and support your local parkour.
The Scottish parkours are high on.
Just make sure you use protection. Make sure you use protection. Okay. All right. Anyway, so
It's too late.
All right. So, all right. Before we get too far off the rails here, okay. So, in conclusion, we have decided that basically that there is something to the idea that Freemasonry might have some evil in it, and above a certain level. But yes, there. On the local level, it's probably just a bunch of older guys getting together and hanging out. But above the level, when you start getting into like the degrees, that it turns into something more sinister. And so we think the truth is somewhere in the middle. Is Freemasonry evil? It's in yes and no. Okay. So that's pretty much what we came up with. Bill Gates is a Freemason. Okay, I'm switching over to confirmed. Okay. I'm switching over to confirmed. All right, you got me on confirmed. All right.
Safety people just don't listen to me, do you? I told you it was evil.
All right.
What I should have said Bill Gates.
All right.
Dang it.
Okay. All right. I'm switching over to confirmed because if any organization that has Bill Gates in it has got to be vile and evil.
Yes.
As shit.
Did I forget to mention him?
So, all right. All right.
Dear.
Okay.
It's caught on like a virus.
Yes.
All right. Evidently, Instagram has disconnected the stream.
Really?
After 1 hour, we disconnected the stream, so we're no longer on Instagram. So no big deal.
Well, that's not bad because we've run 1 hour and 1 minute.
Do they have a time limit over there, Bunny?
Yeah, evidently they have a time limit over there. I don't know. This night I've done it. So
are you sure it wasn't? Are you sure it wasn't these filthy people talking about women?
Well, they are part of Facebook. So,
the parkours?
They are.
Yeah, they are part of Facebook. So
yes, they are. Yeah, they are.
That's the reason why we don't stream over Facebook. Nobody streams at Facebook.
Is there a parkour class?
I don't think so. No.
You have
all the parkours on Instagram. I'm sure there's plenty on Instagram. He loves parkour.
Well, that's why we got booted off there then, because they're all upset, aren't they?
Now I got parkours up to my eyeballs. So yeehaw. All right. Anyway. All right. So before we go to so let's go ahead and put an end on this. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to Mr. Crew By Rap, Mr. Wookie Fever, and Mr. Abby someone or Abby Normal, whatever he's calling himself tonight. And all right, for everybody out there that's a Freemason, sorry guys, you know, we just gotta.
We love you.
We love you all. Please don't show up at our houses anyway. And if you do actually run the world, you know, we disavow everything we just said.
We'll be good.
All right.
We'll be good.
Anyway.
We'll behave.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Anybody got any closing words besides parkour? Anybody? Anything left to say besides that?
For being in the chat. Thanks to Good Stuff, Mr. and Mrs. Good Stuff for being in the chat.
Nice to see you all.
Papa Cotton and Time Prophet, of course, for being in the chat.
So
time and drawing Jackrabbit. Mr. Jack, and he started that, but thank him. And yeah.
Okay, so next week is a cryptid. We're swinging back to cryptid. Which one do you want to do next week?
I don't know. I just show up.
Yeah. My list.
Well, see, Doofus is supposed to have a list.
You just made a list.
Well, how about we do the crawlers?
The crawlers. What the hell are the crawlers?
They're crawlers. They're not the creepy crawlers either. They're crawlers. It's not on the list.
What the hell's that?
The crawlers.
Look it up, Abby. No, they're crawlers. They're like pale-looking humanoid things that have been seen in sewers and also in forest, stuff like that.
How about we do something that people have actually heard of?
Well, they've also been called rake. Also been a rake. It's called a rake as well.
You're not selling me. You're not selling me here.
Rake.
You're not selling me, and since I have to do all the work, I'd rather do one that actually people have heard of.
Let's do a Dogman one. Dogman.
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 All right. Okay, is that on the list?
Zoinks!
I don't think it is, but
well, what's on the list?
Hang on a second.
We told them we would do the list first. Help me out here.
Let me get my glasses. Hold on.
There he goes. There he goes, going off script again with these things. You just can't take the Wookiee anywhere. Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Hey,
hang on, ladies and gentlemen.
Are parkours maybe crawlers?
I see a lot of conspiracies on here.
There's maybe more conspiracies, is there? Than
there's more conspiracies in here. Lizard people.
Lizard people. We'll do lizard people.
Excellent idea.
Yes,
yeah.
Lizard people is a good one. All right.
I have some theories on that myself.
Next week on Cryptids and Conspiracies, we're going to do
lizard people. And I think the only other one after that would be, if you want to call them a cryptid, would be Men in Black.
All right. Yeah, it's
Everything
definitely a cryptid. Men in Black. All right.
Yeah, we gotta look for something. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So,
we're gonna do lizard people next week, and then we'll switch back to a conspiracy
next
after that.
Saturday night, we're going to have the lizard people.
Next Saturday night at 7:00 on
live
on
on
4
Saturday
platforms.
night.
And I'll do all the work, and these guys will just show up. So as usual.
If any of us are still alive at that point.
If any of us are still alive after this week, yeah.
We're going to have a rip-roaring, exciting time.
It's the Freemason. Don't send people after us. So we'll be here next week. Anyway, thank you all for coming.
Parkour.
Yeah.
Donate to your parkours.
Remember, between the cryptids and the conspiracies, the truth is somewhere in the middle. So we'll see you next week, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah. Have a good one.